So we're here today to review some demo submissions on the first demo submission night in a long time. Feels like the last time we've done this was a long time ago, like December maybe.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, it was December.
Yeah, it was December. Today we're here with some very special guests. We have Alan. Say hi, Alan.
Hello, what's up?
We have Khmer,
yeah.
not with a 3 anymore. Last time we were here, he had a 3, and now it's an E.
Yeah. Oh.
He's a different person now.
It's a different person. It's a totally different person.
He's like married and has kids now, you know?
Yeah. Whole family.
That's it. And we also have a very special guest today, which is Invariant.
Yo!
How are we doing today?
What's good?
Who obviously released Hail to the Failure recently on Full Flex Audio.
I'm happy to be here. The reception on the EP has been crazy, so I'm excited to be a part of this. Now
It's been really good. Actually, I was going to say that actually the reception that I've received from like a label perspective of something that's totally different, like it's kind of like I've got a really good niche to the release. It's been amazing. So the first demo is a collaboration between Vallodrate and Sharploud. I think, well, it says beta in the title. I don't know if that's the actual final name, but we're going to go with it anyway. So this is Beta by Vallodrate and Sharploud in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was a short one.
Yeah,
that was Vallodrate and Sharploud with Beta.
No outro.
No
outro
on that one.
Classic.
There was kind of like an outro, but it wasn't like a like outro. It was like outro.
At what stage is this tune in? Because it's like if it's near final,
it says final. Yeah, it says final.
This is final. Okay, I wholly recommend doubling the length of that intro because there was absolutely no like
True.
indication that a drop was going to come.
I agree.
And it's like the melody was okay, and then like 2 minutes in, it's like, okay, it's the same thing. So I feel like varying the melody or the synth the melody is playing would have been really important. I think what
Yeah,
else?
I think I've got to agree there. The intro was far too short because nobody.
Someone
I
mentioned
think anyone in the
vocals,
stage
too.
channel chat would agree that nobody really kind of understand where the intro was going to end and when the drop was going to start. I thought the flow was good. I thought the flow was good in parts. It did get a little bit, did kind of carry on a little bit, and it needed to end to switch to something else.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
like really carried that like bum bum dun 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 dun, that like same on beat rhythm was carried through the entire song. So I mean, like maybe swinging drums would have helped a lot in a switch. Having a breakdown section, a varying melody. I can't remember if K-Mare mentioned vocals or something like that. I can't remember who it was, but
Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah. So vocals would 100% make this tune really, really good.
Yep. The sub distortion point that was mentioned by Alan, that's a good point. I think
Yeah.
maybe it was a little bit too much, maybe.
I don't think it was just a sub. I just think the whole drop was just flat.
It was it was
boring.
it was over distorted, like tiny bit.
Mhm.
But it was there, yeah.
And then a point that Matt brought up in the discussion as well, that the snare was quite loud in the second part.
Yeah,
I think
that
that
snare
was-
has to go. That snare has to go.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit too.
Just has to go.
Anyone else? Alan, Kimio, with some last minute comments on that one?
I think the. Oh, sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead. You go ahead.
No.
Okay. I think the chord progression and melody is kind of. It gets stale. I think it's like. I think if you vary the melody a lot more, it could get a lot more interesting. And yeah, as I said, like vocals in the intro or breakdown would benefit the song a lot because it's got a little bit boring.
I think one thing for the artist to look at this is listen to a lot of Neddy's songs because it's following a very similar kind of upbeat, melodically kind of vibrant kind of flow. And Neddy does this phenomenally, and he follows through with a lot of the changes that we mentioned here. So if you're going to follow this kind of style, I would definitely reference his music, and because it's a very good way to like. Because I'm not super in on that super distorted, chunky like future bassy, future rhythm kind of chord stuff, but Neddy does that really well, and since you're kind of following in that path, I would totally recommend referencing it.
That's a very crucial point as well. If you're not referencing tracks, I think that's a good thing to start doing, because if you put like a track in your DAW and you have it side by side with what you're creating, you can really improve your game massively.
Yeah, it's on that topic. In the project for Hail to the Failure, there was every single one of them had an Amanu track I was referencing while I produced, so it's super helpful.
Yeah, totally. Alan, any last comments on that one from Vallodrate
Not
and
really,
Sharploud?
no. Not really, no. I think everything has been said, so...
Yeah, okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. We'll just go straight on to track 2, which is by Ronyn, and this one's called Lunatic. So, Lunatic in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Right, Alan, this is your field. This is your track.
Should I go? All right. Okay, so first of
Let's
all,
hear
the
it.
guns, the machine guns, they are way too mono. So it feels like you only have like 1 or 2 layers in there. I what I would do to the guns personally, just make another layer, doesn't matter what it is, just something that fits. And if you're using FL Studio, just make that layer like maximum stereo in the mixer. And the high end on the guns is really ear piercing, so I would tone that down around like 40k maybe, like 14k. The drums, the sidechain was way too strong, so the guns were like cutting off. You couldn't hear the transient, and I believe the transient was there, but because of the strong sidechain, you couldn't hear it. And then we have like, I think the sub bass was also weak. So for the guns, you really want like the sub bass with like pitch automation. So the sub bass goes like really high at the transient. So try doing that and less compression. That's all what I would say about the guns.
Good points, Alan. I think the intro was pretty cool. I thought the intro had like a cool, eerie, kind of scary vibe.
Yes.
I can't remember who said it, but the side chain was too strong. I agree with that. Whoever said that in the chat.
Yeah, I was one that said that actually.
Yeah, you said that, Alan. I couldn't remember who said it because the chat was going quite fast, but I just agree with most of what Alan said, to be honest.
I have a couple of things. It's like thematically, I feel like the song was pretty inconsistent because the way I heard it when I was listening to it, it was like what it really felt like was like, oh, cool pads and drop with scary atmosphere plus some samples. So I feel like there's not a consistent theme into how the track should have flown. It's like he's leaning into that Five Nights at Freddy's sampling, so why not make the drop really like mechanical and factory-esque? Like really kind of like Transformers-esque sounds that kind of move like heavy machinery. So I feel like it just felt like a drop with extra samples loaded in. So leaning into a theme of a song, I feel like would have fleshed it out a bit more because it just felt like an F sample plus guns and a drop.
I think you can definitely like incorporate the style, the samples into the drop. Shouldn't be that hard. Yeah,
like those samples are super cool in context. Because like the super ring moddy mechanical kind of those kind of sounds would have been so good.
Yeah. Come here. Any last points on that one before we move on to track 3?
Hey, since I'm not the biggest Tear fan, and Alan knows that, I think it's a cool idea. I think the drop could have some more potential if it was mixed better, like better stereo placement, better, just less high end, a little cleaner, a bit more fat. I think it could be a cool song. And what Marian said, it needs a bit more. The theme needs to be fleshed out. For me, it almost felt like, just like dark atmosphere and drop, and then it was like everything. Like it doesn't really feel like a song, a full song to me. Something is missing there. Yeah.
No, I really love the guns personally, but like you need like they are too mono. You need to throw like the stereo layer in there at like 80 or 90% stereo, and then you will get like the really nice whiteness in the guns, especially in that style.
Oh, I have an idea. It's like if he wants to keep the guns mono, maybe you could do like tricks with the fills of the guns being like, if there's like 4 bars at the end of the 4 bars, you have a fill where the guns are panning left and right, and then go back to mono. Like tricking with stereo would also be a good option.
That could also work, yeah.
Great points overall. Ronyn, if you're watching this, take note. If you're not, it's being recorded, so you're all good. You're fine. You can watch it
There's
later
a quiz at the end. Take notes.
Yeah, exactly. Take notes quickly.
Yeah.
Right. Number 3. Track number 3 is by Zeff, and this one is called Reverie.
Ooh.
So here we go. Reverie in 3, 2, 1. Okay, can I just start by saying that Zeff has sent me a lot of tracks in the past, and I can definitely see potential in this guy, or this artist. I think there's a lot to work on in his style, but definitely the mix definitely needs adjusting, and that kick for sure needs to go.
Oh, yeah, that kick has
Yeah.
to go.
Not every kick in there has to go.
Yeah, it's not doing much for the mix really. It's just like
Yeah.
there, and that's it.
No, I think the mix
Yeah.
the mix overall just needs like some serious fixing because the some, as Revonic said, some design right in game is really on point, but the mixing is horrible.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
Revonix has just said there, sound design and writing game on point, but it kind of is like outweighed by everything else. So there's definitely a lot of stuff to fix in this one.
Yeah, I think for me there was two things that stuck with me outright, aside from like mixing and kind of like game changing the kind of area. At the beginning and kind of towards the middle, the rhythm became confusing, or like it wasn't hard, it was pretty hard to track, like especially in the intro. And then coming out of the garage section into the next drop, there wasn't much of like a continuous like rhythm that was allowed to like cue the viewer or the listener into like following the song. And then the second thing for me is there was a big lack of an actual hummable and followable melody. So it's like there was nothing for me to attach other than it sounded kind of watery. Yeah. As Ravonix just said, okay, More Kismet, Sharks, and Pleague, I think are three artists that this person should listen to and reference, because it's following that kind of vibe for sure. So I definitely recommend listening to them.
Yeah. True.
Anyone else with some last minute points for Zeff?
I will just say it has like very, very much potential. Like, yeah, it reminds me also a lot of like More Kismet kind of bleak. And yeah, I think some mix referencing on those songs from them could be very useful and very helpful. Because if the mix would just be like more solid, I think this is like already really good, like some really promising ideas.
100%. And so here's something I will say to Zeff. If they have like a piano or an instrument at home, I want to ask them to see if they can try and play this song on that instrument. Because something that I've been looking at recently, and I've been watching a lot of like John Bellion kind of making of videos and other artists and stuff like that. And they're saying like, if you can simplify your song down to 1 or 2 instruments and then play it through and it's still catchy, then you've created a successful song. So I recommend going through that process because these ideas are really promising. Like that sound design is really cool. I really like that. So I feel like weaving it into an actual song, and then going back to another thing, thematically, Reverie, the idea of like a daydream, follow that idea of like writing down what sounds would be reflective of what you would think a daydream is. So that kind of an idea.
Damn, that's good feedback. Yeah, Zeff, if you're watching this, take note. This is some good stuff right here.
I think something that I'm probably going to be bringing up a lot is theme, because I feel like there's a lot of artists who will make a song, or like not really make a song, they'll compose something, but it won't fit in a certain idea. So I feel like tailoring a song to an idea is very important for repeated listenability, and then being able to be absorbed into the world that the artist envisioned.
And it can also create longevity in music. Like if you have a good theme, it can totally propel your music.
100% agree.
Yep. Okay, we'll end on that. Track number 4 is by an artist called Shazkei, and this one is called They Don't Know. So, will we know by the end of this one? Let's see.
We may not.
Let's find out. This is Shazkei with They Don't Know in 3, 2, 1.
They don't know.
Okay, that was Shazkei with They Don't Know. I think we do know now who's Shazkei.
Can I say something first this time?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this could be so good if the vocal was either different or personally I would not have a problem not having it there at all, but like it needs to be less there because it's like everywhere. The vocal is everywhere and it gets so annoying and like it just really doesn't sound good. The bass in the drop sounds very cool. I think overall this tune lacks like on variation and ear candies. Also the intro sounds it's okay, but I think it's also a very promising tune. Like this tune could be very, very good. Just there's some few things that need to be like changed or fixed. Yeah.
I think D&B is one of these genres that you can withstand like repetition. Like maybe obviously rhythm
Yeah.
repetitive, but drum bass you can just keep on going for ages and ages and still have the same beat and nobody cares. Like you can just keep on doing the same thing. I think this works. It reminds me of Noisy actually, to be honest. Like the kind of style.
Kinda, yeah. I think I remember it. I felt like I geared a little bit toward like Bunshin-esque. So
Mhm.
I think one thing that I would say about this tune is there's something that I do often when I'm listening to music is I'll quickly skip through each section. Like I'll listen for like 5 seconds, skip to the next one, listen for 5 seconds. And with this one, I feel like if I did that, it felt like a bunch of different songs kind of pieced together. So it's like I felt that I was like a bit split between the rhythm didn't have much consistency, but the very monotonous melody of the and vibe of the song was way too consistent. So I feel like I don't know. It's just hard to word for this one because it's like it has potential. It's like D&B tracks, as you said, can like withstand repetition, but for this one, it like droned on a bit, and repeating that vocal got really annoying after a while.
I would just leave the vocals out of the drop altogether.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
agree on that. I'll very agree on that.
Maybe even just having the vocal as like a pre-drop and
Mhm.
Yeah.
making more of like an intro / build, make it more energetic, and then towards the where it's just about hit the drop, get the they don't know vocal in, and then maybe I don't know what else you would do from there, but keep the drop section. The drop section's cool.
I think generally the song felt very hollow and not in like an atmospheric way. I feel like it was missing like something like maybe adding a fifth or an octave up on the bass melody, a counter one above. I think the percussion could have been more in your face there too. Because like generally I feel like there needs to be a rebalancing session and like kind of figuring out what elements are supposed to stand out and then making them obviously stand out.
Yeah.
Fair points again. Good feedback from all. Anyone else with any last minute pointers for Shazkei before we move on to the next track?
I think I've said
Brilliant.
my piece.
We all good? We all good?
Yep.
Right, we're on to track 5 already, and this one, I hate to be butchering this name if I am, but it's from an artist called Hitacium. I hope it's
sounds right.
that. And the track is called Just You Right Now. So we're going to listen to this track right now in 3, 2,
I like
1.
that title.
I miss your touch on my skin. I want you back, but not your name. I see the trap caught in your eyes, losing my mind. I need you, I need you, I need you right now. I don't want forever, I just want you now. Every time I get my heart, you let it be.
I miss your touch on my skin. I want you back, but I'm not your man. I see the trap caught in your eyes, losing my mind. I need you, I need you, I need you right now. I don't want forever, I just want you now. Every time I give my heart, you let it be.
Okay, that is the end this time. Okay, that was Hitacium with Just You Right Now. Any some first pointers on that one?
I think so. Internal Error and I were talking about this in the chat, and it was like the whole following Nasco's frame of mind with this. And I'm looking at this guy's page, Hitacium, very early artist. So I honestly completely recommend ripping off Nasco's style from the ground up, just to learn, because it's important.
Yeah.
But I will say this, that there was no way I could follow any of those drops. There was absolutely no consistency.
It was very
like-
chaotic.
Yeah, it was like all the sounds on their own were super cool and crunchy, and they had these really interesting movements. And then you did like the Skrillex thing, which is like big sounds. I'm gonna put all of them in every drop.
Yeah.
So it's like relegating a texture for each drop should have been important. So maybe like certain types of sounds are in drop 1, then drop 2, then drop 3. And then that intro vocal, oh my, that was so loud and upfront. It's like, I feel like that whole intro section should have just been discarded and then replacing it with just that vocal and chords that was in the breakdown. That would have been much better of an intro in my opinion.
With someone like yourself in Variant, what would you advise for like general mix down tips and like vocals for like building up to a track or like a drop?
So that can depend on how this person is structuring their vocal. So
Yeah.
I think from what I heard that in the intro vocal at least, there was the main layer, there was a lower down layer, and then a whole lot of compression and effects. So I think what I would recommend is I'm guessing this is a sample. So I would recommend double tracking or pseudo double tracking. So you would duplicate the vocal layer, have one pan left and then one pan right with a chorus effect. So it's the phase is different, so it doesn't sound like the same vocal duplicated.
Mhm.
And then I would simplify that processing way more. I would think maybe a single OTT, a single EQ, a little bit of distortion, like stage distortion, a little bit of reverb. And honestly, I think for this, I would use sends for reverb and delays so you can mix it on a separate channel. And then framing the rest of the song to the vocals. The rest of like the vocal section to the vocals, because this was like, this person made the background track, dropped the vocal in, and then realized the vocal was getting drowned out, so he cranked the volume of it with compression and stuff like that. So it sounds really, really out of place. So I think another, you could like mix it softer so you're able to hear volume inconsistencies, and then like generally just simplify the mindset. Because I think it's not that the vocal is bad. I think it's just the whole track suffers from a lack of simplicity. So it's just like completely bare bones the song, like being like, is this necessary? It's like, is a listener going to be able to follow this? Is a listener going to be able to like care about the song? Because if something's too upfront, if something is too chaotic. I think that whole mindset needs to be focused for this track, in all honesty.
And sometimes, like you're saying, simplicity is key. Sometimes simplicity can be the making of a track. Like, it doesn't have to be totally out there and crazy in sound design. And it's also really good to have someone like yourself on this stream giving first-hand feedback to vocals, which is very important to people that want to include samples in their tracks.
Yeah, and I think it's like vocal samples, depending on the pack that you're using, they can come processed. So if you can, I don't know if this person's reprocessing a processed vocal. If you could find a dry version of it, that will be better. And then I would completely undo all the processing on the vocals and then start from scratch. But it also then that just generally becomes a mixing issue. So I think if I were to lay out like a game plan for how this person should finish this song, I think it would be like, do the drops, like simplify the drops first, like kind of generally arrangement things. And then I would go group by group, track by track, and mix them in slowly. So then when doing that process, you can realize that things are way louder than you think they are. Because like when I was mixing, I think the track was again on my EP. When I was listening to that through like early stages of the song, it was way too loud generally, and everything was competing. And then once you start to break it down piece by piece, it's a bit of an arduous process, but it's so worth for sure.
Anyone else with some last minute?
I have some points. Yeah, the compression on the
that was just mainly like a vocal section.
Sorry for monologuing.
No, really important stuff for
the compression on the drop was really heavy, so I would chill with that. The sustain, either bring it up or just remove it completely.
Yeah,
because it was just interfering with the drop section. The vocals, but it was said already. The transition between the drop and the mid section, it was really confusing. I was ready to unmute myself, honestly, and then it just vocal came back. So,
it's like a swoosh that came back in, and I think I was ready to unmute myself as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing that really bothers me, because I was really like sold about it from the beginning. Don't use the same cake in the intro and build up as you're using in the drop. So that was really bothering me, personally. Because like it takes away from the impact and the like vibration. The song will feel really stale if you keep doing that.
Yeah.
So I wondered, just like a final thing. If this person can get a hold of Nasco and talk to him one-on-one, I would advise that. Just figure, if you can do it, because you're following that Nasco style of vocals, and it's definitely different from my realm of processing vocals, because it's very vocody compressed, that kind of thing. So if you can either find a video where he talks about processing vocals, or literally get a hold of him and ask him a question, if you can, I would 100% try to do that. Like, no shame, DM him. What's the worst that happens?
Nothing wrong.
I mean, he's following him already.
Oh yeah. Just DM Nasco.
So just DM him.
Oh yeah. If he's friends with Nasco, then ask him immediately.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah. Kamir, any last points for that last track?
I think
if I can't. What it sound like.
I mean, most things have already been said. I think the drop, I think the drop sound design is really clean already. Like the sound design is like, it's really good. It's very clean already. I just think the arrangement and like the ideas need to be a little bit more clear, so you really like understand what like your listeners understand what you want to go for, and what like the flow and everything needs to be simplified, definitely. Otherwise, it's gonna be a mess.
100%.
For sure. That is some great feedback for Hitacium. And hopefully, by the time we get this up on YouTube, which will hopefully be tomorrow, all going well with Matt, who's recording right now, we will have this up on YouTube as well for people that have missed it, if they do.
Bless.
So let's get straight on to the next track. which Chimera, you'll be able to go first in the feedback since you've been last the last few times.
I mean, it will be tear out. So
Yeah.
Oh no.
I think it might be tear out. I think it might be tear out because they are.
I actually know Whitenoiz. Yeah, this will be heavy.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give my best tear up feedback to that.
Okay, let's do it. This is Whitenoiz with a track called Silence. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1.
can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. I can hear your voice. I can hear you through the silence. Through the silence. Through the silence. the silence.
Okay. Firstly, can people stop doing that minimalist like breakdown before I'm just about to unmute, and then it comes back in like fuck. Just let it go normally, please. Okay. Firstly, second drop's much better than the first drop. I don't care.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think the build was too strong. Almost, it came out of nowhere like a kick to the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue was the horns and the build up were way too loud.
Really? I feel like that whole section was way too soft compared to everything else.
I agree, to be honest. I agree with Invariant. I think the vocals were way too soft, and the drop and the build up were so strong. It was unreal.
Yeah, that was like I took to the face when I heard the first drop.
Yeah. Come here. You got any notes for that one? Since I'll let you go first for the majority of stuff.
I think first obviously like get the vocal out of here, like just let it go. Deinstall it from your Splice collection, like never use it again. But not for real, like vocal could be replaced. It's like quite overused, as most people know. I think the first drop actually not bad. I think it's even for Tarot, for my taste, it was a little bit too distorted. Like it could be a little bit cleaner, and I think that would already make the first drop a little cooler. I think the second drop was better. I think even the transition to the second drop, the build-up was a lot cooler than the first one. And I think, I don't know, I think the second drop works a lot better because you have that first drop that is not melodic. So I definitely wouldn't replace that, but maybe try to make the first drop a little bit cleaner, because otherwise it wasn't bad. Was quite cool. Yeah.
I think if you compare the two drops, like the first drop was pretty much all tear out, whereas the second drop was like a melodic tear out kind of switch.
Yeah.
I think if you look back on the track overall, it's a very good comparison to the both track, like the both kind of styles, and it makes for like a good listening experience overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say though that the build up into the first drop was practically non-existent, and I think there should have been a like empty breakout where the vocal would have like reverbed out, and you hear like the tear out guns in the background slowly fading in and then going into the drop. Because I feel like with the second drop there was an obvious transition that would have been like, hey, this is going to come. Because in this genre, it's like you are going to be told pretty much exactly what is going to happen in future sections of the song.
Yeah.
And I feel like it subverted expectations in the first drop, not in a good way. So I feel building a kind of either breakdown section before the drop of the first drop, or some kind of like transition where those basses get introduced, because it just went from like pretty piano and strings and very nice orchestral melody into ow, this is very, very loud. So I feel like having a bridging portion would be really important there, but otherwise it's like not really my genre to comment on things, but I think generally it's a good arrangement.
Yeah, I feel that. I think like definitely having like the indicators on when certain sections are coming in is a big part to play in this kind of style as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Alan, any last minute pointers on that one?
I really hate to say it, but the drums were a bit too flat. I feel like in the second drop they were like, I don't know, not standing out enough, but maybe that's just me, honestly.
I kind of agree with that, honestly. It felt kind of drowned out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. Okay.
But other than that was the second drop was amazing.
Yeah, I have to say
the
the second drop from Whitenoiz was so much better. I like both kind of like I like both equally, but I think there's like equally enough. But I think the second drop just kind of tipped it and making me like the track more.
Because like this person like really flexes their melodic chops in the breakdown sessions. I feel like they should run with it. Just go full melodic. In all honesty.
Okay.
Because it's very good to. It's very pleasing to listen to whenever there's like a section that this person wrote a melody in. Because it was very, very fun.
Yeah. Okay, that was Whitenoiz with Silence, and next up we're going on to, I think this is track number 7 already.
Wait, the track was called Silent?
This track
Yeah.
was called Silent.
Oh no.
It was far from silent, that's for sure.
It followed the Kara vocal. Oh no.
Okay, this next track is from an artist I've never heard of before. It's called they're called Bokachda, and this track is called
Damn.
Yami no Akuma.
And it's got the Chainsaw Man Darkness Devil as the SoundCloud.
This is
Honestly,
crazy, I think.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure they sent demos before. I'm pretty sure
Possibly.
I'm pretty sure I heard of them. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, we're going to hear Bokachda right now. This is Yami no Akuma in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we can unmute
Love it.
properly. We can do it the right way. I love this kind of heavy shit, to be honest. Like, to be honest, apart from demo submissions, I listen to a lot of like heavy metal / this kind of music. So this is good.
I feel like I think the one thing that was really, really egregious was that guitar riff sample was not warped correctly in one of the sections. Like where it was when it wasn't like super crunchy giant bass sound playing, that guitar riff was not warped to the swing of the drums, and I don't think it was warped into the BPM of the track. In all honesty, I was like, I don't really know how to comment on this one.
Honestly,
I feel you.
same.
It's a hard one to
Same.
comment on because it's quite short as well. I think it was like
Yeah.
just over 2 minutes long. I don't even know what to say. It was quite heavy, but I agree on the guitar sample though. I think that was slightly miss rather than a hit. Anyone else want to have a go at this one?
It's like it's hard to like qualify this tune because it's like that intro is it's like the beat, the drums itself are they're very clean in comparison to the rest of the song, and they stand out with like the proper amount of clipping. And so I feel like for the thing this guy was going for, it worked because like those drums worked fine. But I felt like even though it was like the super metal thing, it still felt a bit too messy, so I wasn't able to kind of get in tune with the song. Then again, it's like I'm not really listening to this type of music, so I can't really comment on it too much. But it's like I feel like a beat should have a hook, like a proper setup for like a hook, a chorus, that kind of setup. Since it's not following an EDM kind of thing where it's build up, drop, breakdown, build up, drop kind of a thing. So following a theme of how beats are normally structured would cater to this song, but it's like other than that, I don't really know what to say.
Come here. Alan, any points on that one before we move on to the
I
next
can't really say much. Yeah, like it's
Honestly, no. I don't know.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah, it's really not my genre. And like I can't. I don't know. It's not my stuff, and I would not give constructive feedback to that. I can't really help on that. Not gonna lie.
I think Invariant's given the best feedback we can possibly give on this track. It's one of those ones where it's like it's meant to be like that, and that's it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that it's hard to say anything else. Alan, you want to say anything on this one, or
No. I will give that.
That's so sad.
he's good? Alan's good. Alan's good. Okay.
He's like,
Okay.
No.
This is. We'll go straight on to track number
Talking
8
about
then,
Florian.
and this is from Last Disease, and this one's called
Right.
Mint and Cold Water.
Damn.
Mint and Cold Water.
I like that name.
But it
That's a
goes
cool
well,
name.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. Let's see what it sounds like in 3, 2, 1. Okay. Nice. Got to appreciate some good sound design when you hear it. That's some good sound design right there from Last Disease. Anyone want to go first? Alan, maybe?
Actually, yeah, I've heard like some demos from them in the past, and this one was one of the better ones, honestly. Like the sound design was really nice, like really interesting. Like it's really like their own style.
Mhm.
Other than that, I don't know honestly what to say about this. I think the intro could be like more polished. The intro was just kinda just there for me. Like it wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
So I would just expand on the intro.
one of the
And the high end,
Oh, sorry.
high end, yeah, and the high end and like this squeaky synth was really bothering my ears as well.
I think one of the main things for me was the white noise in the riser for the pre-drop was quite loud. I thought that was standing out quite a lot. And the kick in general could come down a bit in volume. But the actual overall sound design was nice. Love the name as well. Mint and Cold Water. That's cool. That's a cool name.
So I want this person to put an EQ on their master channel and just take a look at it, because the midsection on this song was way too competitive. Like every sound was in that section. The drums, the bass, all the percussion, like the snare was fitting there. Like everything was competing for that one section, and it came up for this really messy, muddy track. Like the sound design is really cool, but it's really, really hard to piece everything together. Because if you listen to other songs that are mastered, and mixed properly, it's like each element is defined. So you can pinpoint each element. It's like, oh, there's the hi-hat, there's the position where the snare is sitting, there's a position where the kick is sitting, that's where the bass is sitting. So you need to separate each element into a dedicated frequency band and then not let things interfere with that. You can get some bleed every now and then because that's how you get like a natural sound, but do not let every single element compete for the same frequency. Like soothe is probably a good option, but honestly, this can all be solved by simple EQing. Just making sure cutting your low end, dropping your mids where it's not needed. So something my dad taught me, and he helped me mix my album, and he's like saying, EQ out every possible, like do like a high cut and a low cut. Completely bandpass the sound until it stops sounding like the thing you envisioned. So let's say I have a crash cymbal, I'll just keep driving up the low end and keep cutting it out until it stops sounding like a crash cymbal. So I would do that for each and every sound. So you dedicate space to each single aspect of the song.
Great feedback again for you to take note on, Last Disease. Khmer, any last ones before we go into the second to last track?
I actually can't say much to that because most stuff was already said. I think besides,
I'm gonna let Khmer go first.
Oh, definitely. Go first in the next one, definitely.
I think the idea is really cool. I like the idea a lot. The mix down could be better. Otherwise, very cool, very good.
It's another artist that's been sending me a lot of music in the past, Last Disease. So it's really good to see progress made, and also sound design, like the actual techniques that you're using as well, sounds like it's paying off. So keep on working away, keep on making tracks, and you'll eventually get somewhere, Last Disease, aka Phil. Right, second to last track, people. Nearly there. This one's by Kino, and it is called Vileblood.
This better be
So
a
I'm
Bloodborne
expecting
reference.
some heavy shit right here. Okay. Kino, Vileblood in 3, 2, 1. thought we were going to get some more track there. I was waiting for it. Okay,
I was too.
first thing I put was snare, full stop. I think it needs to be kind of changed, to be honest. The actual style is quite reminiscent of Kino's remix that's coming up on the Remixes EP next. It sounds quite similar to that, with the like kind of like halftime start, and then the second drop's more of that like really slow kind of tempo, which I really like. I like that kind of stuff. Like if artists do that kind of slowed down style,
A very
if that would be used more, I think it'd
metal-y
be cool.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, come here. Since the rest of us don't shut the fuck up, it's your turn to talk before we all say things.
Okay. I think I'm still thinking about the intro the most because I think the intro is very interesting. I'm not entirely sure about the transition because the guitar in the beginning gave me like a really weird like vibe. I'm not entirely sure how like I felt after that. I think the way it went into the drop with the kind of with the build up that was like that came with the guitar change. That was cool. I like that a lot, but I'm not entirely sure if the intro works for me. That was like the thing where I was not sure, like most concerned about. Everything else, I think the drop needs some more balancing. Like the guns, they're loud and they kinda come out of nowhere. Yeah, I don't know. I think it mostly has some mixing issues. Overall, it's a cool thing. I like it. I think it's very creative with that original guitar, definitely.
So I think
Fair.
this track, I think personally it suffers a little bit from like the thematic problem that I mentioned earlier. So it's like you've made the pre-drop a big Bloodborne reference. So I feel like for the actual like breakdown sections and the outro and the intro and things like that, listen to the Bloodborne score and hear about, because it's like a very, very scary, dissonant, like it's H.P. Lovecraft in sound personification kind of a thing. So I would listen to how those intros or those orchestral renditions of like boss fights are structured, and work that into your song, because the guitar is cool. I would wholly recommend keeping recorded guitar if you've done that. So because that's how you make a unique name for yourself. But like, listen to how those orchestral elements can be fit into the drop, because I feel like giant dissonant staccato strings that are really, really terrifying in like a horror movie or something like that, I would put those in and like an intro to completely flesh out that vibe. So it's like thematically you're consistent with how Bloodborne is structured. And then for like extra ear candy, if you're just like Fear the Old Blood, sample like your faucet dripping and like as like a blood dripping kind of sound or something like that. Just like run with the theme and just go full Foley and orchestral on it for like the intro and mid sections.
Great feedback again. Alan, any points in this last heavy track?
Yeah, the drums were really flat for this type of style. Like you want the drums to like punch in your face, especially with that like the synth you had in the second drop was really amazing, but it felt like too like, I don't know how to say it, like not in your face. It was a bit behind everything. Like, yeah, we can't play second drop now, but like there was like this long synth followed by guns. It could be like more in your face for like impact. So that's all I would say.
Nice. Okay. That was Kino with Vileblood, and we are on to the last track, which is by an artist that's released on Full Facade before quite a few times.
Yes!
This is
I'm excited for this one.
Into Ash, and this track is called Ivy. So
It's over for everyone.
let's hear it. I've not heard this before, so here we go. Into Ash, Ivy in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Hey, Martin. Hey, Martin.
Yeah.
Can we just sign this?
Yeah, that's pretty good, that is. So, firstly, before I start, the thing about doing demo submission nights like this is that the people that are here in the audience gets like a first sneak peek into what myself and the A&Rs receive on a daily basis, like anything that can be from what we heard in the first track to what we heard now. And it's so random, like all the time. And it's amazing to hear stuff like this first time in like a live setting. And yeah, that was pretty good. I agree with internal error though. I think the sub bass could be a little bit stronger. That's my only real critique.
I think I could say that the kick needed to be a bit more round, because it's like it was a very like Leo Trixie kind of squarey kind of a kick. It had that kind of weird squishy noise. I don't really know how to say, but I feel like a more rounded, thumpier kick would have really driven the rhythm of the song a bit more. And then maybe in like those super gritty bass sections, I felt a bit hollow, so maybe like airy plucks in the background just to kind of fill out the space a bit more. But like other than that, it was really cool. Honestly, I think the vocals could be a bit louder as well. Like if those vocals are a bit more upfront, they could kind of carry the song a bit more as well.
I love those vocals, and I think I've never heard those before, so they might be a sample, but knowing Into Ash, I think that could be original samples. So
If they are original, they should be at way higher, because they were really fun to listen to.
Like
Very
your EP
pretty.
as well. Your EP, the vocals stand out in every single track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think those were original vocals, honestly.
I hope so. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm a big proponent of like, regardless of like, because I was speaking with Mahir about this. He sent me a couple tracks where he's doing a lot of like pop rap kind of a things, and when he started, he was like, the vocal was very drowned out by the other instruments. So I'm a big proponent of like, regardless of how early on you're doing vocals or whatever, I would just make them in the forefront, because A, it's practice for listening to your own vocal a bunch, and then B, it just sounds so good. I love it. It's awesome.
I love that minimalist kind of house feel. I don't listen to a lot of house, to be honest, but that can make me listen to a lot more house.
Maybe you need to just make a full house FFA comp and just have end-to-end just different variations of house.
See, the thing with that is I've been thinking about the Abandonware compilation, and of course it's like themes such as like fire, ice, water, all that kind of stuff. but we're also thinking about doing like genres. So like I don't know, like a glitch hop abandonware series, for
I'm
example.
so down for that. That'd be sick.
So yeah, we're going to try and do that. That'd be cool.
Hey,
Hey,
sorry I'm late.
you are late. You've missed every single track, but it's okay.
Damn.
Damn.
What? That was you couldn't.
This is
wrong timing.
signature aphonic timing. Just get used to it.
That's all right.
This is
We'll make
sorry.
sure you can make it next time.
You can just rewatch it.
But
Honestly,
we've literally just listened to Into Ash's new demo submission called Ivy, and it was,
Yeah.
How
I would
how
definitely ask her about that. About that
yeah.
song.
Yeah, I'll
I'm
definitely-
100% sure that's awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely hit Into Ash up after this
I
and
need
see
to
what's
hit
up.
Into Ash up for a collab. I want to make a song with her.
Oh, Into Ash, like instrumental of your vocals.
Please, oh my god, please. Into
Let's
Ash,
make
if
that
you see
happen.
this, please hit
Dude,
me up.
I don't know if you heard it, but Into Ash dropped like a few months ago. The acoustic version of, let me see, of which song was it? It was something from 1:35 a.m. acoustic version of Solemn Sunday. I have this song on repeat because I downloaded it. It was dropped into.
I don't think I've heard that.
It's a drop a track. Yeah, I will just link it to you. In
Oh,
DMs.
please link that. I need it.
It's amazing. I'm just listening to it over and over again.
Yeah, totally. I need to hear that. Any last points for Into Ash before we close up the demo submission night?
My only message is collab with me, please.
I'm gonna message Into Ash and say if they want to collab with you. I'll try and make it happen.
Please, I need it. I need it in my life.
Let's do it. Let's make it happen, people. Okay, so that was demo submission night. Thank you all for appearing once again. It's great
Big
to have this
night.
back in circulation because obviously demo submissions reopened on the 2nd of June. So it's good to bring this back on a monthly basis. So basically from now on we're going to try and make it every last Sunday of the month. We don't want it to be too regular because people would probably get burnt out. They probably wouldn't want to see it that much, like every week. So we're going to do it every last month. Every last Sunday of the month, sorry.